All right, ladies, welcome back to the Savage Girl's Guide to Men podcast. I'm your host, Samantha, from Samantha Savage Wisdom, your favorite truth teller, boundary enforcer, and living reminder that your standards are not the problem. They are your protection. Now listen up. The same men who say they hate a high-maintenance woman are the same ones DMing them at 2 a.m. Let that sink in. They'll complain that a woman is too much, too picky, or too high maintenance, but what that really means is, she doesn't make it easy for me to waste her time. Men don't hate high standards, they hate when they don't meet them. Now let's talk about the myth of the chill girl. It's wild because we hear men so often say that they want a chill girl. You know the type they describe. She's low maintenance, goes with the flow, doesn't nag, doesn't expect too much. And yet those same men are the ones that are chasing women with standards so high that they have to have an oxygen mask just to reach them. Because here's the truth, men love the thrill of the chase, but only when the prize is worth catching. You ever notice that? They'll swear they want easy until easy gets boring. Then suddenly they want a challenge. Ladies, being chill is not the flex they told you it was. It's code for low expectations. And you're not low maintenance. You're just done mothering grown men who call bare minimum peace. Let me tell you about a friend. She made her now husband chase her for 5 years. And get this, during those 5 years, she was trying to set him up with other people. She wasn't playing hard to get, she was hard to get. And you know what happened? He kept showing up. Patient, consistent, and unfazed. And they are about to celebrate their 4th year anniversary. And to this day, he still says, if she likes it, I love it. That man worships her. He makes sure she's taken care of and never lifts a finger. That's what happened when a man earns you. He respects you. He values you. He sees your standards as obstacles. He sees them as instructions to love you right. When a man has to climb the mountain, he appreciates the view. And ladies, don't let anybody convince you that being a mountain is a bad thing. Men who only like hills weren't ready for the altitude anyway. I've lived this too. In the beginning, there was this man that I dated and I was reserved. I wasn't cold, I was just calm. I wasn't rushing, I wasn't overly available. I wasn't pouring into him before he had earned it. And let me tell you, that man ended up worshiping the ground I walked on. Whatever I needed or wanted, he was right there. Not because I demanded it, but because I didn't need it. He had to earn me. And when you're not madly in love before he has shown you who he is, he has to rise to the occasion. He has to prove himself. That's where the attraction deepens. A woman who knows her value doesn't beg, she inspires action. And here's the tea, when you're not pressed, men get impressed. They notice your energy. You're no longer auditioning for a spot in their life. You're deciding if they deserve a cameo in yours. And I've seen it with my own eyes, men that adore their woman. You can see it the way they look at her. It's like she hung the damn moon. It's like the way he talks about her. Respect is dripping off every single word. And the way he moves around her, protected, guarded, and present. When a man truly loves a woman, his whole energy changes. He stands taller. He softens and strengthens at the same time. Because her presence activates his purpose. The feminine divine doesn't weaken him, it wakes him up. And when a man treats a woman like that, she treats him even better in return. Not from obligation, but inspiration. Feminine energy expands under safety. The more loved she feels, the more radiant she becomes. A cycle of devotion, not depletion. And let's be real, men will move mountains for the woman they truly want. Prince Harry left his country, his title, his family. All for love. That's not weakness, that's alignment. Because when a man is invested, he is willing to be inconvenienced by the woman that he loves. He'll change his schedule. He'll fly across the country. He'll move mountains and he'll cancel plans. And still say it's worth it. And you know why? Because she is worth it. Because he knows her presence is a privilege, not a guarantee. That's the power of standards. She sets boundaries and he respects them. She says, this is how I expect to be treated, and he listens. Not because he's scared of her, but because he's scared of losing her. The right man doesn't need to be told twice. He acts right the first time because he recognizes what he's standing in front of. A woman who doesn't negotiate her worth. Real men don't fear boundaries. They follow them because they lead to the woman they want. Now let's get into the why. Ladies, it's not just ego. It's biology, it's evolution. Men are wired to pursue. It's coded deep in their DNA. That same instinct that made their ancestors hunt, protect, and compete for the right people. That drive just doesn't disappear now that we have iPhones and dating apps. When a woman has standards, she lights up the primal circuitry. He feels the challenge. He feels the pull. It's not about games, it's about gravity. Her self-worth sends a message. She's the rare one. And rare things, they are not given. They are earned. Men fall in love through investment. The more time, energy, and effort he puts into you, the more attached to you he gets. That's why when you do all the pouring, planning, fixing, and proving too soon, you rob him of the very experience that makes him fall for you. The process that makes him value you. If he doesn't earn you, he won't know how to keep you. A man values what he earns, not what he's entitled to. And that's science, baby. When he has to work for something, his body releases dopamine, the reward chemical. That's why the chase feels good. But if you hand him everything on a silver platter, he gets the reward without the work. And his brain never associates you with value. That's why the ones you babysit never appreciate you. You gave them everything before they could prove that they could handle it. Men bond through doing. They fall in love through effort, not ease. That's why a man who truly wants you doesn't mind the distance, the weight, or the effort, because that is what builds attachment. So ladies, stop believing that the shortcut to his heart is over-delivering. You're not Amazon Prime. He's supposed to show up, not just check out. And here's another truth. Men respect boundaries because that is what creates structure. Masculine energy thrives inside direction. Without boundaries, he feels lost. So he tests yours to find them. When you hold firm, you become the anchor. When you bend to please, you become the blur. A woman's calm certainty tells a man, you're safe to lead, but not to control. That's power. The right man rises into that. Protector energy without possession. He doesn't feel caged, he feels called. Every man wants the throne, until he meets a woman who requires a kingdom to reach it. When he adjusts his tone, plans ahead, or keeps his word, that's not just maturity. That's evolution meeting intention. It's him proving he is capable of holding space for you. Because even the most modern man still craves one thing, and that's to earn the feminine he desires. He's not intimidated by your power, he's challenged to rise to it. That's why real men love high standards. It gives their effort a purpose. And let's be real, men will complain about your standards until they fall in love with a woman that has them. And then suddenly, I've never met someone like her. Exactly, because you were out there auditioning for potential, and that lady was out there protecting her peace. Now let's talk about the act. Why do men pretend to hate high standards? Because standards mean accountability. Because that means they can't just slide into your life half-baked and expect a full-course meal. Because it means showing up emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And most men aren't used to with that kind of mirror being held up to them. It's easier to say you're too much than admit I'm not enough right now. But secretly they love it. Because deep down masculine energy craves direction. It wants something to rise to. When you have high standards, you're not nagging, you're defining. Standards don't scare real men, they separate them. Real men want a challenge. They want to feel like they earned something real. They want to feel like the woman beside them sees their potential and holds them accountable to it. So when you tell a man, this is how I expect to be treated, you're not being difficult, you're being direct. And a man who is emotionally available will take that as guidance, not criticism. He'll say bet, because that's what structure feels like to a real man. Safety, direction, and respect. The ones that hate it, those were the ones who were never planning to rise anyway. They wanted comfort, not connection. So the next time one tells you that you're too high maintenance, smile and say, I know. Maintenance keeps everything running smoothly. And we all have that one friend who's a little bitchy in the best way. She's blunt, she doesn't sugarcoat. She doesn't chase, she says, no, I don't like that, and she means it. And somehow men eat that up. They're obsessed. They call her mysterious, confident, the one that got away. Because confidence is intoxicating. Men are drawn to certainty like moths to a flame. She's not mean, she's clear. And clarity is power. Men love mystery, but they respect boundaries even more. So when you say no and you stick to it, you're not losing him, you're teaching him. You're teaching him how to approach you, how to stay, and how to treat you. Because clarity eliminates confusion. And confusion is the enemy of peace. And honestly, men don't fall in love with the chill girl. They fall in love with the woman that makes them feel something, who challenged them to rise, who knows exactly what she deserves and refuses to settle for less. That's not intimidating, that's inspiring. So let's be real, ladies. When he says he wants a chill girl, this is what he really means. I want a woman who doesn't question me when I give the bare minimum. And that is a red flag dressed up as a preference. Because a woman with standards isn't stressful, she's selective. Men who are ready for real partnership find that magnetic. They recognize peace when they see it. They don't want a woman who agrees with everything. They want a woman who believes in something. High standards are the built-in lie detector. They weed out low-effort men faster than a bad credit score on a mortgage application. You're not hard to love, you're hard to fool. And that's a difference the right man will always recognize. If your standards make him disappear, you just saved yourself the cleanup. Because sis, the trash always takes itself out. And here's some savage girl talk. Never apologize for wanting effort. Effort is sexy. It's the love language of grown-ups. If he wanted easy, he would have stayed home with his Wi-Fi and his ego. When you raise the bar, lazy men trip over it. And that's exactly the point. You're not supposed to be attainable by everyone. You're supposed to be undeniable to the right one. Now let's bring this full circle. Imagine if you stopped explaining your standards and just started embodying them. Imagine walking into every room knowing, if you cannot meet me here, that's okay. I'm not waiting for you to catch up. Because when you truly have standards, everything changes. You move differently, you speak slower, you chew softer, and you stop reacting to crumbs. Because baby, we don't chase what's beneath our throne. Men feel that energy instantly. They know when you cannot be manipulated. That's why they call you intimidating. What they really mean is they can't distract you anymore. And here's the wild part. When you stop having to prove your worth, you attract men who already see it. They approach differently. They move with care. They listen, they plan, they show up. Because when a man knows he's in the presence of a woman who requires consistency, he'll either rise up or he runs. And either way, you still win. High standards don't chase men away. They filter out the ones who are never going to stay. Now here's your challenge this week. Stop explaining your boundaries. Start enforcing them. When he sends you a text at midnight, don't respond. When he says you're different, say, I know. When he says you're hard to get, smile and say, I'm not, I'm hard to forget. Let your energy do the talking. Because the woman who knows her value doesn't beg for effort. She inspires it. She's not angry, she's aligned. She's not distant, she's divine. You don't need to play small to be chosen. You were never meant to audition. You were meant to arrive. So stop waiting for a man to choose you. The moment you choose yourself, the universe starts matching your energy. And here's what no one tells you. High standards aren't about men. It's about identity. They're the boundaries that keep your self-respect safe. Every time you hold one, you tell the world, I'm not operating from fear anymore, I'm operating from faith. And when you operate from faith in yourself, your value, your timing, everything shifts. The wrong men will fall away quietly. The right ones find you effortlessly. You stop forcing outcomes and start flowing into alignment. That's why I say your standards are your spiritual security system. They keep the peace in and the chaos out. Boundaries aren't walls, they are gates that only open for peace. So the next time someone says you're too picky, say I'm not picky, I'm precise. Because queens aren't confused about what they deserve. And ladies, let me tell you, you don't have to be perfect to have high standards. You just have to be present. Present enough to notice red flags the first time. Present enough to walk away without drama. Present enough to choose peace over potential. And that's the real glow up. Emotional regulation mixed with a little lip gloss and a lot of self-respect. Let's sit in this for a second, ladies. When you finally decide your piece costs full price, the discounts stop showing up. That's what high standards really do. They set the exchange rate for your energy. They tell the universe this woman has learned her worth, and the universe listens. They start sending people who match that energy, not test it. When you stop chasing potential, you start attracting purpose. The thing is, you were never asking for too much. You were just asking the wrong man. And when you stop explaining that, you make room for the man that already understands that. Men talk about the woman that is ride or die, but we don't die, we evolve. We learn the lessons, we buy the lashes, and move on glowing. So if you've ever been called too much, too proud, too confident, just remember this, ladies. Those are words from people who couldn't get the version of you that demanded growth. High standards aren't about being mean. They're about being meaningful. You can still be soft and be selective. You can be nurturing and still non-negotiable. Soft doesn't mean simple. Gentle women can still have granite standards. Because being feminine isn't about shrinking yourself. It's about knowing your power and where to place it. You don't have to dim your light so that someone else feels tall. You don't have to beg to be understood by people who were committed to misunderstanding you the whole time. You just have to keep walking like you already know you're the prize. Because you are. So ask yourself tonight, do my actions match the woman I say I am? Do I speak like her, dress like her, rest like her, protect my peace like her? Because standards aren't just what you demand from men. They are what you demand from yourself. You can't expect consistency if you keep accepting chaos. You can't preach boundaries while entertaining confusion. Energy is currency. and you decide what's worth the spend. A woman who honors her standards never runs out of self-respect. She compounds interest. So tonight, pour a glass of whatever makes you feel like the main character. Light a candle and write down 3 things that are no longer negotiable. Maybe it's your peace, maybe it's reciprocity, maybe it's the way you're spoken to. And when the world tests you, and you know it will, remember who the hell you are. You are not for practice, you are not for potential, you are for partnership. All right, ladies, that's it for this episode of the Savage Girl's Guide to Men. If this episode lit a fire in you, share it, tag me, and make sure you're following me for more unapologetic truth every week. Remember, your standards don't make you high maintenance. They make you high value. Stay bold, stay confident. As always, stay savage.